We're at the Huntington Country Club in Long Island. They're doing a big golf tournament fundraiser for America's VetDogs. And joining us now is Andrew Rubenstein. He's going to give us a little, I guess you're going to give us a preview. Later on, we're going to have a Bronze Star winner, Purple Heart winner, and his dog.
Correct.
And tell us what you do real quick.
I'm the director of marketing at the organization, so my job is raising awareness, generating some media coverage, supporting the development team. Anytime we do a fundraiser, it's about getting some media there to help create a buzz. You know, my job is to get the word out, tell the stories about what we're doing at the foundation on Long Island here, and get people excited about supporting the veterans that are not only just coming home now, but have veterans of all eras. You know, we support them all.
So, in the bottom line is it costs $50,000 to train these dogs.
Correct.
And later on, we're going to meet Joseph Worley.
Yep.
Won the Bronze Star, Purple Heart. He's got a dog, Benjamin. I just met Benjamin a little while ago. And this dog really is a huge help to him because he had an IED blow up both his legs, and he lost one of his legs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe's. I've met a lot of veterans while I've been at the organization, and the spirit he has and the sense of humor he has. He's a really amazing guy, and your listeners are going to really I think fall in love with him. He's an amazing guy.
All right, and he's going to be coming up later in the program. But the bottom line is, if people could donate a little, and I know these are really tough economic times for people, and you know, people get hit up a lot for money, but I'm going to write a check to you guys. It's www.vetdogs.org.
Correct.
And those guys are going to join us later, and we'll find out more about the organization and how this has worked in the case of Joseph Worley and all these other guys.
Absolutely. We've had so many great men and women stop through our campus in Smithtown, New York. It's pretty amazing. We actually set up a special page about Joe for your listeners to learn more about Joe. It's Hannity.vetdogs.org. They could go there. They can learn about Joe. They can also find out how to donate from there, or they can go right to the VetDogs.org website that you mentioned.
Well, I have a lot of friends here that are out playing golf while I'm working, and everyone gets to play golf.
Something wrong with that.
Yeah, something. But it's all for a good cause. You're raising a lot of money in this tournament. You had a lot of people donate too. I mean, I see you got prizes that people are bidding, things that are going on and everything.
Amazing.
Well, it's just a great cause, and the government doesn't help with this at all, do they?
Not at all, no. We actually support the government by providing some of the dogs, these combat operational stress dogs, to the Army. So when men and women are over in Iraq and Afghanistan, these dogs come over and they provide a sense of home, a sense of comfort. So when they're in battle and going through all these things that they're going through, these dogs provide the love and the unconditional love and compassion and companionship that they're not getting. So we actually give to the Army.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
It's great.
All right. Well, listen, Andrew, thanks for stopping by. We're going to check in with some of the guys later, Joe Worley, and also your CEO, Wells Jones.
Wells Jones, yep.
So thanks for all you do. Now, if anybody can help, and we'll mention this throughout the show today, they've set up a website. If you can donate, it's www.vetdogs.org. And also we put a link on my website, Hannity.com, if you forget. And even if people donate a little bit, it still goes a long way to help the organization and help train these dogs and get them ready to help these soldiers. Then they need the help.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps. It's an amazing cause. We're supporting, the brave men and women of the armed forces. And like I said, we support veterans of all eras. And it's something we should all be proud of.
Andrew, I'm proud of what you're doing. Thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, 800-941-SEAN if you want to join us, Hannity.com or VetDogs.org, and we'll have more on that coming up on the program today. You know what's sad? I welcome now Joseph Worley is with us, U.S. Navy recipient of an amazing guide dog, and Wells B. Jones is the CEO of America's VetDogs. Guys, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Good to be with you, Sean.
And so it's awesome. They have this big golf tournament, raising a lot of money for you guys, and you lost a leg.
That's correct, yes.
All right, tell us about what happened.
I was a corpsman with 2-1 Marines out of Camp Pendleton, and what a corpsman does for Marines is basically a field medic. I went with 2-1 Marines out of Camp Pendleton to Fallujah, Iraq in 2004. Near the end of our deployment, September 17th, 2004, we were medevacing one of my guys out that the back of his leg was cut open pretty bad, just sheer accident. First vehicle got hit with an IED. I jump out and go running up to try to help, and I got hit as well by an IED. And being the only medical personnel present, I was blessed enough to be awake and alert, and I was able to put my own tourniquet on. And
that's rough.
And
Did you know how bad the injury was as soon as it happened?
Well, I went straight up in the air, and
wow.
I came back down. I was wide awake. I remember the whole thing. And initially when I hit the ground, I not in a pessimistic way at all, but I just assumed that I was going to die. And that's because I'd just seen what the first bomb had done, and they usually use identical bombs back to back like that. And so when I got hit, I just logically assumed that I was on foot. There was no way I was, going to make it. And, but I couldn't just leave it at that. And I knew that after I laid there for a second, if I was still alive then there was a chance. And I rolled over, and my leg was missing at the knee, and my right leg was pretty messed up. And at that point, it's almost like going in robot mode. I mean, you're not really thinking about what you're doing. You're just trying to make logical decisions. And
so you are conscious enough, aware enough to put your own tourniquet on. Mm-hmm. So you had to save your own life. Would anyone else have been able to save you at that point, or?
Another corpsman could have, and then possibly one of my Marines. We make sure that while we're over there as medical personnel, we train everybody to a basic standard. And however, with me being awake and alert, as long as I was able to move, I would rather have, done it myself and made sure it was done right. I think that if there's ever one thing that you should ever do right, it's probably putting your own tourniquet on. It should be the one thing you don't screw up. So I kind of wanted to handle that myself.
So tell us a little bit more about your story. So they fly you out of there,
mm-hmm.
and what do you remember next?
Well, the first thing is they asked me if I wanted to wait for a helicopter, and I don't like that if stuff, and I knew that if we threw me in a Humvee, we could make it back. We were on the outside of our AO, which stands for our area of operation, and so we actually had about a 45-minute ride in a Humvee, which are really not known for their suspension quality. And we rode back, and that was really, really rough. Decided not to wait on that. I ended up making it. It took 5 days from the time that I got hurt on the 17th. I was home on the 22nd. And by home, I mean United States soil. I didn't care if I was in Maine or Los Angeles. I went to Baghdad, Balad, Longstuhl, Germany, and then over to Bethesda, Maryland.
Right.
And so I woke up in every one of the places. One good time,
wow.
Enough to meet a few people and shake some hands and was able to make it home.
I've been there, and I've talked to a lot of the guys that have been through and have the same injuries you had. It's a whirlwind. Your life changes, and I'm sure all those thoughts are racing through your mind. What's my future going to be like? And now you have a prosthetic on.
Mm-hmm.
How is it working?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It really is. And you are absolutely right. Obviously, from an outside standpoint, you're as right as you possibly can be with that comment, because I had a 3-month-old daughter I'd never even met.
Wow.
And so the first time I was in the hospital, I'll never forget, I was waiting on them to let my family in. And I remember looking down at my hands and asking for something to soak my hands in, because I had dried blood under my fingernails. I didn't want to hold my daughter for the first time with that kind of bad stuff. And I just soaked my hands for about 10 minutes. I couldn't get them clean. And then I just, in a way that was kind of symbolic for me, that both of these things, my newborn child and that, will always be a part of me. And,
wow.
You can't wash everything away. You got to learn something from it. And so I was blessed enough to be able to have something to look forward to. I didn't have a lot of regret and doubt that a lot of guys have. I know that I tried my very best. I did my job.
Well, you got the Bronze Star for Valor. You got a Purple Heart.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but now you're starting out. How is your right leg doing?
That's my bad leg.
Right.
That's my piece of junk leg.
Yeah.
My prosthetic is my good leg. However, I can't complain. There's a lot of guys who are way worse off than I am. My upper body's in incredibly good shape as far as.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to tangle with you. I can say, you look like Mr. Olympus over here.
Well, I'm easy. I've got a weakness. You can climb up on top of something and throw things at me. I probably wouldn't be able to get to you too easily.
No, you could just choke me. It wouldn't be that hard. Well, I've met your dog. It's a lab, or it's a golden?
He's a golden retriever.
Right.
It's like a lab, but a million times better.
Ooh, ouch. You got a lot of lab owners pretty ticked off out there. And first of all, it's an incredibly nice dog. How does the dog help you?
There's things that you can put in a brochure, and that's what that's what we talk about because it's tangible. It's something people can understand. He braces and lets me stand up holding on to him. He retrieves things for me. I go to put my leg on. I got a 15-month-old son, so I go to put my leg on, and my shoe could be anywhere in the house. Benjamin will go get it for me. Right. You know, he stabilizes me when I walk. I spend a lot of time in a wheelchair. I drop everything out of my lap. He retrieves that stuff.
How old's
for
Benjamin?
Me. He is 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So he does all of those things for you.
Oh, yeah.
And he helps. In the beginning, did he help with balance and walking? And
I attribute my ability to walk without a cane to him. And a lot of people are like, well, you're holding him on a leash. How does that help? And my answer is unequivocally, I don't know. I guess it's like walking on railroad tracks, and you feel a little wobbly, and then you just reach out and you just grab a leaf on a branch that's going by, and it just works. Just knowing that you have something there that you can grab onto, you're more confident. And that honestly is one of the reasons why I feel like I walk without a cane now.
Does he have a sense when you always need help? Does he know when you need help?
He knows, every year around Labor Day, I had a pretty rough time in Labor Day, not just with my injury in September, but 11 days before that, I lost most of my second squad in a suicide IED. And, around that time, I don't even realize it. It just gets up around that time, and I realize Benjamin is just up my nose the whole month. And I guess my wife pointed it out to me that he knows that I'm sad, and he's praise trained, which means I don't give him treats, I don't click things at him. He literally just wants to make me happy.
Wow.
And so that's what he focuses on. And when I'm sad, he knows it, and he wants to make it better.
Yeah. What a great story. And so it's been a godsend for you.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
But now you have 3 kids, so one of the toughest things I've ever seen is when I went to Bethesda, went to Walter Reed. We've done these freedom concerts. I met these guys like you who have prosthetics and have lost their legs, and then you meet the families of the fallen that never got to come home. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't think we do enough for you guys or the families in the end. And, you think about functions of government and record debt and deficits. It's not going to the vets, and it's not going to their families, and it's not going to some of the treatment centers. This is something I think the government ought to be funding.
I would even be happy if it was going to teachers or somebody. Yeah. If somebody was getting some benefit out of it that we could see, that'd be great. But it doesn't seem like that's what's happening.
Yeah. Well, let me bring into the conversation Wells Jones. He's the CEO of America's VetDogs. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm great, Sean. Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for coming out.
So how did you get started in this? And tell us what the need is, because we got a very generous audience on this program. I'm going to write a check to your organization, so I don't ask people to do something that I myself wouldn't do, but we have a website, you have a website, vetdogs.org, and we have a link on my website, Hannity.com. How did you get involved? How many people are you helping? How many people would you like to help?
Well, the way we got involved, the Guide Dog Foundation for the Blind had started itself in 1946 to aid veterans coming back from World War II. There were a lot of blinded veterans related to that conflict. And as these conflicts were going on, the modern conflicts, we realized that the needs were different. And so the America's VetDogs program was started in 2003 and has grown now. We've served over 300 individual veterans. We also provided the first ever combat operational stress control dogs for free as a gift to the Army to go over to Iraq and Afghanistan and work in there. And we've also provided dogs to military and VA hospitals to assist in the rehabilitation process. And that's done because there's a very big need for it. We have a large waiting list, well over 100 people who are waiting, and we know the need is beyond that. And while Joe is current conflict, we're serving veterans of all eras, because there are veterans even from World War II we're still serving who, as they age, their needs are different, and they may not have needed an assistance dog before, but they do now. And each of these dogs is a full assistance dog trained to do multiple tasks to mitigate the disability of the veteran.
So you get these dogs, what, as puppies, and you have a staff that trains them?
We do. We actually breed the vast majority of the dogs we use to maximize the traits that we need. We need good health and good disposition to work with these dogs. And then we have, first of all, volunteers who raise them for the first year of their life, or many of them are raised in a prison environment where the prisoner gains from this process, learns important skills, and it helps to change their life, as well as helping us to get dogs started to do what we do. And then they come back for our professional trainers who finish the training for these dogs and make the placement with the individual veteran.
Well, it's just an amazing thing. Can you imagine your life and now without the dog?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because, you asked me earlier what Benjamin does, and I told you the brochure stuff. But a lot of people don't realize that many people go in the military. There are plenty of people in the military have a healthy, wonderful support system, but there are people that go into the military for many reasons. One among them is getting away from home and because they don't have that support system and they want to break that cycle. And some of these guys that get injured don't have, like me, a wonderful wife that can be there the whole time and help take care of the 3-month-old daughter, or a mom that can quit everything she's doing and come stay with you for 4 or 5 months while you're trying to recover. A lot of these guys do not have a support system. And Benjamin is part of my support system. And if he has helped me as much as he has, and I already have an incredible support system, I cannot imagine what it would be like having no one and then having Benjamin.
Well, let me ask, because we have a little less than a minute left. Maybe, Wells, you can tell people what can they do to help, and how much. What are your real needs to get all? Let's say you need 100 dogs now. How much would it cost to get 100 dogs out to those vets that are on your waiting list that want them?
Certainly. You alluded to it before. There are not governmental funding streams. This is all donor dollars that make it happen. Individuals, corporations, foundations. It's all donor dollars. Each team is about $50,000 from the time we start until the time we finish to get the dogs just right and to work with them through the working life of the dog. They do the math, 100 times 50,000.
So the best thing that people can do is just go to the website, and it's www.vetdogs.org.
Exactly.
And if people forget that, you can go to my website, Hannity.com. Listen, an honor to meet you. A Bronze Star, Purple Heart. You're a great American, and I'm so happy you and your family are doing well. You got 3 kids now, and what you've been doing, Wells, is a great job. Thank you so much for being with us, too.
Sean, thank you for coming out.
Appreciate it. We're at the Huntington Country Club today, and this is a great organization. Even if you can give $10 or $25 or $100, if everybody donated a little, it would mean a lot, and maybe we can get a few more dogs out there to these vets that need them. And again, the website is www.vetdogs.org, or on my website, Hannity.com.